Good morning, everyone. Brian here again with BMK Retro Gaming. Hang on. Screen needs just a bit of cleaning up. This morning I have for us the review of the IntelliVision home video game console line original library game, Pac-Man. Now, as we would already know, it was developed based on a design by Toru Iwatani, by Shigeo Funaki and Shigechi Ishimura for Namco, who published it in 1980 as the arcade cabinet original. Then later on, in 1983, Atari Inc. would develop and publish under their label Atari Soft the IntelliVision home video game console line original library port. Now, I have just a loose copy here, which those who've watched this channel's videos for a long time may actually remember me unboxing. But here's basically what it looks like. We've got, again, an image of Pac-Man. And what looks like a power, or a wafer. Again, still with this one, they're not entirely, as we'll see with the gameplay, they're not entirely strictly dots, so that's kind of still accurate here, but we'll also see it does look and play a good deal better than, say, the Atari VCS 2600 original library port. Anyway, this one was done in '83, if I didn't mention that before. It's got pretty decent artwork here. Let's see. You can see it says it's published by Atari Soft. My copy's not in too bad a shape. And if you turn it kind of sideways, you can see here in smaller print where it says it was published in 1983 by Atari Incorporated. Anyway, it's no big surprise that it would be brought over to the IntelliVision home video game console line. Atari Soft published, Atari published under their Atari Soft label for pretty much every other home computer and home video game console that they could for a lot of their big name games. So, as we've seen, they even had a prototype that was going to be the ColecoVision Atari Soft arcade port for it, but just didn't get released. Anyway, as usual, I don't want to spend too much time just sitting here talking about it. I've got my INTV IntelliVision 3 set up. So, without too much further ado, I'm going to get this popped in there and get us set up with my, and we're going to take a look at the gameplay. Okay, so here we go with gameplay for the Pac-Man arcade port for the IntelliVision home video game console line consoles. By Atari Soft, of course. Okay, start screen once it comes up. You have an option to play 1 or 2 player, just press 1 for 1 player game. And it starts right up. One of the first things we will notice is, although still not 100% arcade accurate for an arcade port, it does look a lot better. Again, the pieces to be eaten are not quite entirely full dots, but they are a lot closer than, say, they might have been in the Atari VCS 2600 original library port or such. So, the Atari VCS 2600 arcade port, I mean. So it's definitely got its advantages. It looks and sounds good. This sounds like Pac-Man, looks like it. Don't think there'd be too much that one could complain about with this one. Even got the cherries. The scoring's about right. We've got the 2 warp tunnels on the right and left instead of up and down. This is pretty darn good. Sure, the look and some other things are still a bit off from the arcade cabinet original, as I said. But Pac-Man does not have, say, an eye here. He's his typical shape that he's supposed to be. Everything here is pretty much par for course for a Pac-Man game. If still, again, not 100% the way they would be in every respect, it's still good enough. I can see this as being pretty enjoyable to play through. Unfortunately, as you guys might be able to tell, I haven't had too much of a big chance to get on as much as I might like, so I am a bit rusty. But so what? Could be worse. As we'll see here in just a second, there are also the cutscenes included. The ghosts in this, or maze monsters in this case, are more referred to in the literature, such as the manual, as being goblins instead of being either referred to as ghosts or monsters, so that's another small but significant difference. Apparently they just didn't know what to call them with all these, and I find that a bit funny in a way because, you know, this is another port Atari Soft did by Atari, who had the licensing rights for it, so you'd think that they would know what to call them, but they apparently got all mixed up in their various ports and such, so can't say I lay a huge amount of blame on them for it, though. I mean, these things are going to get lost a bit in translation and such over time, so could be far worse than it isn't. And there I go getting caught again. Fortunately, I don't have much left to finish this maze, so. Again, the goblins, as they're referred to here, they have kind of a dead-eye look, more or less, you know, no pupils or anything to their eyes, so that's a bit weird, but can be lived with, I guess. Darn it, should have known he was probably going to skip on over. Well, anyway, I can go ahead and get us back into another round pretty quick. Try it one more time, see if we can get a bit further, like maybe say Maze 4. Again, this one looks and sounds much more than, say, the Atari VCS 2600 original library port, like we would expect Pac-Man to look and sound. Not nearly 100% arcade accurate, but it's close, or close enough. And that counts for a lot. I noticed, unlike some of the other ports that have been done, though, this one does not have the, it doesn't seem to start off really, really fast or speed up super fast at one time, so it does give you a little bit of leeway, some room to work with it here, so. Despite what some might be tempted to think also, oh no, I'm not doing that. Not on Maze 1, no thank you. Despite what some might be tempted to think, the directional disc that the IntelliVision home video game consoles lines use is not really anything of an impediment here. The controls are pretty well smooth. As a matter of fact, that's pretty much all you use to play this one with, except for pressing 1 to start with a one-player game and 2 to start with a two-player game. No! That was stupid of me. Otherwise, just have the directional disc to control your Pac-Man's movement, and it's not too tough at all. You have to think about the directional disc in a way as it's basically similar to if you had a, say, a D-pad. It's like an early prototype for what a D-pad would be like. Not again. They're bad on this one about really going into chase mode once they see you. course, a lot of times they'll keep up their own patterns and break off from it after you evade them for a certain point. This one, though, they see Pac-Man, they come straight for him. I should have just gone for doing it this way to start with, but sometimes try to see what all I can get away with for a while. Don't know why. Mm-hmm. 100 points there. I don't think so. You start off with a standard about 3 lives here, so there aren't any really big extras included, so that does make it just a tad tougher. Well, that's not a major impediment or anything. If, say, you had been owning an IntelliVision video game console back in '83 and had gotten this as what you had to play for Pac-Man, I can't see it being much of a disappointment, really, because there's not much to be disappointed about here. It certainly looks and sounds a lot like what we would expect the arcade cabinet original to. And, yeah, there's just not a whole lot to complain about with this one. Okay, I could complain that I couldn't get the fruit right there, but that's not such a big deal. I can live with that. It needs to be. And we're in Maze 3, and we still have all my lives left, so... Or my Pac-Man left, so... Yeah, not too much to complain about there. Okay, I conceivably could, but I'm not going to. We can tell kind of that the maze has been a bit, it may be due to the way that the programming had been done in development for the IntelliVision video game consoles. You know, the way they were processed and all, but we can see that, you know, there have kind of been corners that look like they've been kind of cut out of the overall maze. Well, at least some of them, look, I got an extra Pac-Man. Still about 10,000 points you will, so. Alright, messed up on my usual pattern, but that's okay. It's like playing Pac-Man and pretty much any other port of the arcade cabinet original, really, in some ways, that you just have to kind of stake out your pattern and develop it and go for it. Of course, I could have done a better job with it there, but oh well. Ha! Gotcha. See, I've got enough lives or Pac-Man left that I could possibly make it to... Well, if I'm more careful than that, I could possibly make it to cutscene 2. Yeah. Not sure if that's going to happen at this point or not, but we'll see. Can he do it? And of course, the power pills or power pellets, they would in some other cases, will wear off a bit faster the further along you get. Ooh, 700 points. Darn you. Oh, great, no lives left after this, so better be careful. Ah, couldn't do it. So close. Oh well. Anyway, I think you guys probably have a good idea with the gameplay by this point, so. Okay, so that was Pac-Man, an original library game, an arcade port, developed by Atari Soft and published by, developed by Atari Inc. and published by Atari Soft for the IntelliVision home video game console line. Is it pretty good? Well, I think so personally. As I was saying during the gameplay and all, it's still not quite 100% arcade accurate or such, but it does come a lot closer than the Atari VCS 2600 original library arcade port didn't. Though still, that one, although very bare bones, I would still defend and say it's still a decent Pac-Man game in its own right, even though it may not look or sound very much like the arcade cabinet original, which was one of the disappointing factors back then. This one, on the other hand, you had an IntelliVision, got this one. This would look, sound, and play generally like Pac-Man for the most part. Like I was kind of saying, some of the little corners have been squared off a bit more and don't have the routes through there that we usually find, but that's not such a big change. It's a minor maze change. Would only take a bit of adjustment. Anyway, I would recommend if you guys get a chance to play this one. It's pretty common still, though you might pay a little more for it if you get, say, boxed or CIB complete than just a loose copy like I got. Still shouldn't be too hard or too expensive to find for those who might want to. Anyway, I do have a few recommendations and links for you guys. My preferred YouTubers, IntelliVision channel, Vizd gameplay videos, High Retro Game Lord, Willie with his channel Arcade USA, and Phil with his channel The No Swear Gamer all have some nice videos on this one too, so I will go ahead and leave recommendations and links for you guys for that, as well as leaving a link for the Wikipedia article for those who might care to read up on it a bit further. Go ahead and keep your eyes peeled because although I haven't picked out what this next Sunday's homebrew prototype or prototype review video is going to be on yet, partially because I have something in the works that I'm not sure if it will arrive one day this week or next week for sure, and I'm kind of waiting to see. Well, just keep your eyes peeled, and on my announcement post here on YouTube, on my feed on Facebook, and my Twitter feed, and you should find out what that was going to be a bit later on. Big shout out to my IntelliVision Invasion Facebook group, I believe it is. Love you guys over there, and hopefully I will, the weather will stay pretty nice this evening, and y'all will get this video upload, this morning, I mean, and y'all will get this video uploaded before too late. In the meantime, if you enjoy this channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comment section below. You guys take care, have a wonderful Wednesday, and hopefully I will see everyone back here again this coming Sunday.